Oedipus Rex, full version. Trailer prelude to tragedy. A monster sphinx appeared at the entrance of a city called Thebes and was eating people. The monster asked passers-by, "What creature walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 at noon and 3 in the evening?" When no one could answer and people were dying, a young man appeared confidently. He was Oedipus, the prince of Corinth. He answered without hesitation, "It is man, because he crawls as a baby, walks upright as an adult, and leans on a staff in old age." Hearing the correct answer, the Sphinx threw itself off a cliff to its death, and Oedipus became the hero who saved the city, becoming the king of Thebes. He also married the beautiful Queen Jocasta. He believed he was the smartest and luckiest man in the world. However, fate was cruel. He did not know that he was the protagonist of a destiny, where he had once crawled on 4 legs after being abandoned, stood on 2 legs to kill his father, and would eventually leave as a blind man leaning on a staff as a 3rd leg. Episode 1, Calamity, the Plagued City. Years passed, and a terrible plague began to circulate in Thebes. People and livestock died, and the crops withered. The citizens pleaded with King Oedipus, who had saved them before, to save them once again. Oedipus, a responsible leader, felt the people's pain as his own. He sent his brother-in-law Creon to the temple of Apollo to receive an oracle. Oedipus was a problem solver, who believed he could solve any crisis with his own intelligence. He never suspected that he himself could be the problem, and the curse that caused the plague. Episode 2, The Oracle, Find the Culprit. Creon returned with the oracle to stop the plague, find the murderer of the former king Laius, and punish him by execution or exile. Oedipus was furious that the king's murderer had been left at large for years. He solemnly swore to find the culprit and cursed the murderer to live a life of misery and pain. He even declared that he would fight for the dead king, as if he were his own father. Oedipus was chasing the truth with all his might, unaware that the sword of justice he held was pointed directly at himself. Episode 3, Warning the Blind Prophet's Harsh Words. To find the murderer, Oedipus summoned the blind prophet Tiresias. The prophet, who already knew the truth, refused to speak to protect the king. Enraged, Oedipus insulted the blind old man. Finally, Tiresias spoke the heavy truth. "The murderer you are looking for is you." Oedipus, blinded by his own intelligence and pride, dismissed the prophet's words as a political conspiracy. He could see everything in the world, but he could not see his own reality reflected in the mirror of truth. Episode 4, Suspicion, Conspiracy. Theories shocked by the prophet's revelation, Oedipus fell into deep suspicion. He suspected that his brother-in-law Creon had bribed the prophet to steal the throne. Creon argued logically that he already enjoyed the benefits of royalty, without the heavy burden of being king. But Oedipus did not listen. To protect his own truth, he fabricated a fake truth. It was the moment his brilliant intelligence began to malfunction, to hide his inner anxiety. Episode 5, Illusion, False Relief, to comfort the anxious. Oedipus, Queen Jocasta said that oracles are not always reliable. She revealed that King Laius was killed by robbers at a 3-way crossroads, not by his own son as predicted. However, this detail only intensified Oedipus's fear as he remembered killing a group of men at a similar crossroads in the past. At that moment, a messenger arrived from Corinth with news that his father, King Polybus, had died of old age. Oedipus felt a false sense of relief, believing he had escaped the fate of killing his father. Fate gave him false relief to make him let his guard down, preparing to strike him from behind. Episode 6, Revelation, the Past Unfolds. Still fearing the prophecy about his mother, Oedipus hesitated to return to Corinth. To reassure him, the messenger revealed a shocking truth. "You were not Polybus's biological son. I received you as a baby on Mount Cithaeron with your ankles pierced." Queen Jocasta, listening beside him, realized everything first. To her, this was a death sentence. All the puzzle pieces fit together like lightning in her mind. Mount Cithaeron, where she ordered her son abandoned. Ankles, the memory of piercing the baby's ankles. Oedipus, the name meaning swollen foot. She begged him to stop, but Oedipus, desperate to find his roots, summoned the old shepherd who had given the baby to the messenger. Episode 7, Truth, the Fatal Encounter. The old shepherd, threatened by Oedipus, finally confessed the baby he received from King Laius's palace was indeed Oedipus. All the puzzle pieces fit together perfectly. Oedipus realized that the man he killed at the crossroads was his father, Laius, and the woman he married was his mother, Jocasta. He cried out in agony as he finally saw the cursed reality of his life. Episode 8, Responsibility, the Blind Wanderer. Finding Queen Jocasta dead, Oedipus took the golden brooches from her robe and stabbed his own eyes. He shouted that his eyes should no longer see the horrors he had committed. He did not make excuses or blame the gods. Leaning on a staff as his third leg, the blind Oedipus left Thebes as an exile,